The story for the first film, Unexpected, was a story about a young teenage boy coming out to his mum being gay, but he doesn't know whether to do it or not, so he flips a coin. The unexpected bit is the coin lands on his side. The role I did was AC in AED. I did a bit of research on this where I researched suspension, especially on shot wise and on motion of the edit. Also researched into the AC and AD role because I didn't know what they really do on set as much as the rest of the roles. Inspirations: Inception and Shaun of the Dead. What went well, the actor was responding very well to what we was asking him, and the feedback that I was giving to him was paying off very well. One of the shots was of extreme close-up of the eyes. Because we didn't have the lens for it, I had to literally sit underneath the actor, who was very open to me doing this, and I had to put the camera quite close to his face, and it paid off very well. What didn't go so well was you could see the crew in the reflection in the kitchen on the back wall, as you can see. Another problem that we had was natural lighting. We didn't use any studio lighting, so we used natural, and that caused a few problems with getting our colour corrections right. And also, last thing was continuity with the items on the table, the laptop and the phone, what the character was using, the actor kept on putting in different places each time. Things I'll do differently is keep track of time for the director, so we didn't stray from the path, and also we knew how much time we've got with the actor left. Also making sure that there was not as much messing about. I wouldn't use natural lighting, I'd use studio lighting for my next shoot. That's another thing that I'll do differently. And another thing I'll do differently if I was AD would be assist a cameraman a lot more with difficult shots. Health and safety: using the tripod in limited space in the kitchen, so we moved everything out of the way that didn't need to be there, including crew. Props and tables and chairs, yeah, again, limited space, so we had to make sure there was enough space for the actor to manoeuvre around and to be able to be safe by doing that. The second film, The Promise, it's about brother and sister. Sadly, the brother is dead, and it's just a representation of his ghost, and the monologue is of the sister telling us what happened and how he died. My role for this film is sound and actor. I researched into voiceovers in films and documentaries to make the sound quality a little bit more better. What I learned was the actual techniques to use to get better sound quality. What went well was the fact that I didn't actually get much of a hissing sound when I was recording the monologue of the character. What didn't go so well was the fact that we was filming outside on location. However, I was acting, so I wasn't able to get live sound files from when we was acting, so I had to do that a little bit later, so it wasn't actually in time. What I'll do differently is record a lot more sounds for the editor team to supplement the film, and also to give a little bit more variety with the film. The health and safety I had to do was make sure no one tripped over the wire that was connected to the shotgun mic and to the recorder. So I wrapped it around the pole and around my arm, so there wasn't any hanging. Also, another problem that I had was making sure no one walked into the pole or I hit anyone with the pole. With the third film, Broken, our storyline is with a teenage girl coming back from a night out late. She then sneaks up to her room where her father is waiting for her unexpectedly, and she drops a glass on the floor out of surprise. For this role, I directed. Inspirations that we used was Shaun of the Dead, Traveler Hablitz was a music video, and also the hit TV show Dexter. What went well was we used the big Ursa. It was quite different to normal standard DSLR cameras. As you can see, the quality difference is a lot more better, and it made the film feel a lot more professional. Another thing was we got in an actress who's done a bit of acting before, and she is very good at responding to what I want and what I needed, and she performed very good and did quite a few one takes, what was quite surprising to what I wanted. What didn't go so well was that because we used the big Ursa, it's a lot more heavier piece of machinery, so it took a little bit longer setting up with the shots. I sadly messed up in one of the shots, and you can see my reflection here in the picture frame in the background. Another problem was I didn't have a system of telling what to do with different people, so from camera, acting and that. They all kept on asking me at the same time, and it sort of made it a bit more messier, the production, and we lost a bit of time because of it. What I do differently is to make a organised plan of who to talk to first with instructing. So one of the sets that I could do is doing the actor and actress, then camera, then lighting, then sound. Maybe that could be an option in the future to do. So with the full film Inverted, what was it about was that it was about a little girl in the 90s, needed to escape reality, and she went into the game world where that became her reality for a little while until it was tea time. I had a few little roles for this film. I directed, I also gaffed and did a bit of animating as well. I researched into 90s fashions, also the bedrooms in the 90s and games. Also looked into coloured lighting for the background with the colour wheel to know what colours mix. What went well was the fact that everyone knew what I wanted, and everyone was quite patient with me. They didn't really come to me asking, they waited until I came to them, and it was just nice and a lot more easier process. Another thing was the lighting with the background and how it reflected on the character's face, especially with the change of colour when it was doing a focus pull. What didn't go so well was that the lighting took a little bit longer than we thought, and it took up a lot more of our time instead of shooting. Sadly, the kit store only had a few gels that we wanted. They didn't have magenta, sadly, so we had to go with an orange tone instead. With editing the animation, especially the Mario at the end, masking the movement of the character and also the movement of the camera was very hard to do. What I'll do differently is I would wish that we had a longer time to shoot. With the film language, because I was directing, sort of the actor or actress, I wanted a young boy at first, but we decided to go with a little bit more older female, especially Asian, what worked out very well for the film. Costume design, I wanted it to feel 90s theme or a little bit earlier than that, about late 80s, early 90s. Location and mise-en-scène, we wanted it to be a bedroom but in the 90s, also to be a teenager's room, so it had a little bit more personality to it, what I did to the film. With the visual effects, I know I wanted 3 main games, Mario, Street Fighter and also Pokemon, because those were 3 main games in that time era, so I know I wanted those 3 for the actual film. Inspirations to this film was the movie Pixel, Wreck-It Ralph, Scott Pilgrim vs. the World, Imaginary Dragons, Believe, their cover album. Lighting, I know I wanted blue and magenta, sadly we had to change it for orange, but that's more reference into the Imagine Dragons album cover. And shot wise, I know I wanted 4 main shots that were static, so it was a lot easier for us to film the animations on. However, I also wanted to do some pickups of some creative shots, sort of just movements, just to make it look more interesting for the viewers. Well, whoever is watching this, I hope you have a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year, and I'll drink to that. Goodbye.